What is going on, guys? We're back with another video here today to drop a bit of a rant. I'm actually home from lunch, and I usually come home from lunch just to eat some food here because I don't typically buy out. I just like to either cook my food or I might have some leftover or something. Anyways, guys, so home on lunch and jumped on Dokkan Battle, and I just had the need to just rant a little bit, guys. So we are past the 2-year anniversary for JP, and we're coming up the 2-year anniversary for Global. Global version of the game is going to be getting Super Saiyan 4s when 2-year drops. Same thing that happened on JP. Super Saiyan 4s will be coming, guys. On JP now, we're just about to complete the 120 meta, being the 120% leads for each type, and they actually dived deeper into that meta with going 120 leads of each type for each super and extreme character. So you would have a 120 lead for the super characters, giving a small buff to the extreme, and then a 120 lead for the extreme characters, giving a smaller buff to the super units, guys. This is about to end because the extreme tech lead being Super Saiyan 3 Broly, or Legendary Super Saiyan 3 Broly, is about to drop. I believe the date is Friday, this Friday. This video should be going up on Wednesday, so we are about 2 days away from having the last 120 lead being the extreme tech leader, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, guys. What is going to come next? I'm actually low-key afraid that Bandai is going to release some bigger buffing unit, being 130 leads, 140 leads, or 150 leads. That is gonna completely break the game. That's gonna make the game just stupidly unnecessary. And this is why, guys. Currently, how things are, 120 leads as is already overpowered. There's no event in the game that requires that amount of damage. There's none. There's literally none. You can still beat events with the 70% leads, being the original leads, Super Vegito, Buhan, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Kid, Omega Shenron, Fizz Broly, not so much just because of the physical team. The physical team lacks certain units, but every other team being with the original 70% leads, if you have 100% Duke System units, can, for the most part, still beat any event in the game. We went a step ahead and brought 120 leads, already unnecessary. Already unnecessary, guys. There's nothing in the game that calls for a 120% stat buff. It's just not even necessary, guys. So, you know, that's why I'm afraid to enter into a new meta being higher buffs, higher percentages, because we already don't need the 120. Why introduce anything beyond 120? It's just overkill at that point. At that point, I do see the game dying down slightly. We already kind of slightly maybe see it a little bit because at least for me, in my opinion, I mean, the game for me is not as hyped now as compared to when Super Saiyan Blue Vegito dropped, or Omega Shenron dropped, or Buhan dropped. Back then, yo, I was hyped. I was freaking crazy. I'm still hyped, guys. We have the LRs dropping, LR Rose, LR Gohan. Don't get it twisted. I want these cards. I need these cards. I have to have these cards. But comparing my excitement and my enjoyment of the game back then with the 70% leads and Vegito and Rose, compared to now being the 120 leads, and I would imagine we're gonna get, I guess, these super types for 70%. I imagine so. Like we do have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito and Rose, so I would imagine next would be the super character and extreme character upgrades for the villain and heroes. I would imagine that's gonna be dropping, which would kind of bring some balance back to the game because a lot of people would stop using the 120 leads and go more towards the hero and the villain leads, being if they do release that, guys. But this game continues to increase the power creep by an immense amount. Like they're not just doing small increments of power; they're doing massive steps. Because, like I said, we went from 70% to fucking 120. That is a disgusting buff. They could have easily stepped it up from 70% to 90%, 90%, then to 120. They could have easily gradually increase that, but they just jumped the ball game from friggin' 70 to 120. Now they did add the stipulation, like I said, there's a certain typing of the character being super extreme that is going to get a bigger buff than the other character, but overall 120 leads exist and you can run an entire team that's very cohesive with 120 character with the 120 lead buff. It just makes the units very, very, very overpowered, and it just makes it just makes a point of the game kind of irrelevant, being doing events and grinding events. The game is very grindy, guys. Grinding medals for LRs, grinding medals for awakening cards, grinding medals to raise super attack of certain units. But this is supposed to be challenging. This is supposed to be hard. This is supposed to be something that's actually going to involve critical thinking. All that is out the window because you can literally one shot, you can easily KO any boss within 2 or 3 rounds, and it just makes the grind just tedious and kind of boring, honestly, because you're repetitively one-shotting, and it's kind of like, well, you know, I'm just like collecting medals. At this point, they should just allow the medals to be in the barber shop to buy them. Like, just save my suffering of the tedious grind, because there's no challenge involved in the actual gameplay of me grinding these events. And that is unfortunate, guys, because back in the day of, once again, Super Vegito, Buuhan, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, everything was challenging. Buuhan back in the day, just having one of the 70% characters, Buuhan was hard. Buuhan was damn hard. The Buuhan event, guys, literally, for me to awaken my Buuhan back in the day, I had to use at least 2 friggin' Dragon Stones per run. Not that I want to do that. I don't want to waste Dragon Stones on runs, right? I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying that it was that difficult. It was literally that difficult to the point where I had to exhaust all items, and I had to friggin' use Dragon Stones. Now, back then, of course, my characters that I had in my box were nothing compared to what I have now. So, of course, if I had certain units, that would not be a factor. But the event was hard. These days, you can do pretty much any event, pretty much no items. I mean, you might have to use a Sensu Bean, a Yema, but for the most part, you're not using a lot of items. Like right now, currently in my box, I have about 400 Sensu Beans. I have over 300 Dendes. I have over 100 King Yemas. I have, I think, about 100 Ghost Ushers. I pretty much never use items. I never need to, because why? I mean, all the events are easy. It's a one-shot fest. So, going into this new meta, once again, going back to the beginning of the video now, going into this new meta, whatever the next like tier of cards are going to be, oh my god, I fucking hope Bandai does not fuck this up. Because we don't even need 120s, much less anything higher than that. We don't need it. It's not necessary. It is just, it is not called for. So if they release 150, it's just like, why? Like why right now? But you know, once again, I'm gonna go back to saying that I hope that they do the super and hero characters, being the 70% super and 70% extreme. That's gonna be pretty cool, because that's gonna bring balance back to the game. Like I said, it's gonna go back to days of Vegito, Omega Shenron having the 70% buffs, but it's gonna make it for all super extreme characters. So that's gonna bring some balance back to the game in terms of the power and damage output. But I think Bandai needs to either wait to release more difficult events, being Super 3, Super 4, Super 10, I don't even know. Just hit us with some difficulty, Bandai. Not this tedious fucking grind bullshit. It has to be like a challenging event that actually calls for us to use items. Like me, like I said, I barely use items. I have way too many Sensu Beans. I don't need all these Sensu Beans. I really don't. I don't even use them, guys. Or maybe I'm just the kind of player that is just very niche. You know, maybe there's not a lot of people who have OP cards like me, because, you know, I do have a couple 100% Deuce System units. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, 100% Deuce System. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, 100% Deuce System. I'm about to 100% Deuce System some other characters that are very OP as well. So maybe I'm a very niche type of player, because the majority of players aren't going to have every single God Leader, every single OP card, Super Attack 10, at least 2 Deuce and Deuce System. So maybe that is the case, but at the same time, Bandai is giving us these cards. These cards are available, so they expect us to use these cards. So at least there can at least be events that's gonna call for the damage of the cards to be, I guess, relevant. There's no event that calls for the amount of damage output that a Super Saiyan 4 Goku does. Is unnecessary levels of damage. So regardless if you have these cards or if you don't have these cards, the damage is unnecessary, because there's no event that calls for that amount of damage in the game. So I don't know what Bandai is going to do. I have no idea with this new meta that's about to be released, but I just hope they don't dick us and fuck it up. They've done pretty good thus far. The 120 leads were, I think, somewhat of a bad move, I should say, because it entered us into a meta of just one-shotting, and I don't ever want to be in this one-shot meta again. So they need to fix that somehow by scaling it down, but maybe giving us an additional perk. I have no idea. But, you know, regardless, guys, we should see what the new meta is with the new release of another new Dokkan Fest unit within the next month, because Broly, like I said, drops in about 2 days. So I would think within a month they're going to release something new, something different, something exciting. Not fucking 150 or 130, 140 leads. Please, just don't even at me right now. Bit of a rant, guys. I had to get off my chest. had to take it off, guys. But that's it there, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. You might feel differently than how I feel. You might actually want 150. You might actually want 200% leads. If that's you, then sure, do you think? But I actually like to be challenged. I'm actually the kind of player that enjoys the competitive side of games, and Dokkan is not competitive. Dokkan is easy. One of the worst things Bandai could have ever done, in my opinion, is release a dupe system. Dupe system is broken. Like, you take a character like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you give the man an unconditional 150% attack up on the passive, so unconditional, he has that. You give him links that increases his damage even more. You put him on a friggin' 120 lead, and you still get this man crits, and additionals, and even higher attack buff because you can increase their base attack stat from the dupe system. Dupe system is probably one of the most broken things they could have ever done to this game. That alone makes everything broken, much less 120 leads, much less anything beyond that. Please, Bandai, just don't. That's my rant, guys. I just had to say some stuff. Hope the new meta isn't another overpowering meta, because we don't need that. The game needs some balance, and it needs to just kind of go. It needs to revert back to what it once was. Yeah, guys. Anyway, so please like the video. Please like, share, comment down below. If you're not subscribed, I don't know why. Like, leave a comment down below why you've not subscribed as yet, so I can read that, so I can see what's up. I'm gonna go back to work, so I'll see you next time. Bye bye.